I have another idea what we can do. I could go over the VOD of the Canyon game. Give you guys like a little bit of a rundown what my thought process was. So I was playing against Canyon in this one. They also had, I think this was Core JJ. I mean that Cookie and Finn. I don't think Cookie is considered a pro player, but it was a pretty stacked game. I think it's kind of nice to watch. Can I just give you like my thought process of things? Usually when you boot into a game, or even before, like when you're loading screen and stuff, you kind of think about like what this game is gonna look like, what's gonna happen. Especially the first until level 4 is really important, because that your early game is so crucial in 80 Shaco, especially in 80 Shaco, that you kind of want to be sure as to exactly what's going to happen, so that you have everything under control. In this game, I really want to path towards topside. I have two options, two really good options actually. The first option is I start bot, do a level 3 gank bot lane. He's our only AP, so that's really good. It's kind of unlikely because they have to int quite a lot. You know, always have that option in the back of your head in case, you know, it is available to you. Because if you don't see it and you miss it, then you might bite yourself in the ass after. The second option is I just path towards topside. It is very likely that in this case, Talon is also going to path towards topside. And I think he also wants to impact top lane early on. The good thing is Korean Shacos play different to EOS Shacos. So I know that this guy doesn't know all of my tricks. Just starting bot here is I think the best option, because also what it allows me to do is not only go for level 3 gank or go for the top lane gank, because I beat Talon to the gank if I want to. I can do 3 camps here, then do wolves, then blue, and then go. Or I can just, you know, do 3 camps, then go blue, and then go top, depending on how fast I need to be there. That is another option. And then the third option, which is the EOS, you know, the desperate classic, is if you start red, enemy jungler is a full clear jungler and starts blue like this, you can then just invade once he's on red. Now, how you do this, it depends on how good your enemies are, if people ward and stuff, how fast they clear, how fast you clear. That's also something you have to pay attention to. So all of this, what we just talked about, is something that you would want to think of already in loading screen. Also, again, you kind of want to evaluate your matchups. In lower elo, it does matter. Of course it does, it always matters, but I think in lower elo it's more important to understand how to not, you know, how to be efficient as a jungler, meaning how to clear camps efficiently, how to get ganks in between those camps and stuff. But in case you do want to think about the matchups, I think top lane is one of the, is a very volatile matchup. Double melee is always something that you can look to play around. There's going to be a lot of fighting. Every time somebody wants to go for CS, there's going to be fighting. Most of the times, melees are, unless they're tanks, are bruisers or fighters, which means, well, they're going to fight. And giving 1 kill, which is 300 gold, which is like basically a longsword, or could be like a cloth armor, can make a big difference in a fight. So getting your solo laner ahead on top lane is always a good idea if it's a very snowballing matchup. Just giving him 1 or 2 kills can basically put him in a situation where you can just leave him be. He's going to be fine on his own. You can start to snowball other lanes, or it allows you to then play around that top laner for the rest of the game and use the fact that he's very strong, or stronger than enemy top laner. You can use that to kind of 2v2. So that's something you want to think about. Mid lane also, it's a double melee matchup again, and Set actually has great setup. Since Mordekaiser has absolutely no escapes, he has his E, which you can kind of swing backwards. It's usually a very free opportunity gank. You can sidestep it quite easily. Bot lane also, I'm not very confident with bot lane matchups, so I tend to avoid thinking about the matchups too much. I would assume that early on, at least, Misfortune and Galio get shove, which is also why I was looking for level 3 gank. If not, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. I don't plan on playing around bot lane specifically, unless again they're like very shoved up and it's free for me to gank. It is kind of risky because they have Galio. He has Aftershock. He becomes insanely tanky. Doesn't really matter if we try to, you know, kind of kill him because he has his taunt. He has Aftershock. He doesn't die very quickly, and Misfortune has a lot of damage with PTA. So that all before the game starts. Because I know that people like to invade Shaco boxes, and I would assume that even the Koreans know that and do that, because they have a very strong level 1 as well. I would assume that they try and do that, which is why I stacked here. Now, I think we win the level 1 if they aren't like super clustered together. So I asked my team to stack. They actually do come in. This box is really lucky because it's kind of perfectly placed. Because he walks around the corner, doesn't actually insta-trigger it. And then once he's already like deep inside of the fear range, he does trigger. So then he does get the smite off, which kind of sucks because he gets the smite earlier. But we get the first blood here. So this is good. Something you also want to keep in mind is, I didn't see this, I don't think, but I think somebody pinged it. He lost flash. So when I go for this invade, if he isn't very low, I will need like 3 or 4 auto attacks plus ignite plus E. And depending on if he has smite, even more. So you want to be really careful. you go for these invades. Not because he can kill you, he sometimes he can if he gets the rep buff and has smite and stuff and gets the heal. But if he doesn't have flash, there's no way he can dodge your auto attacks. There's no way he can run. He's going to be forced to tank your auto attacks. So that makes it really, really easy for me to also invade him. Which is then, at that point, it is my game plan. I know Galio flashed, so I'm still looking for level 3 bot lane gang, because if we can get a double kill, that's more worth than invading him and getting his red. But my plan at the moment is I'm going to invade. We do the full clear, and this is the interesting part, because I see he gets a leash, which is good, I expected it. So now is where I think I ping on my way to his rep buff. The good thing is, something you always want to pay attention to, in lower elo it doesn't matter too much, in higher elo it's quite important. You want to look for prio. If your laner is on her tower here, and enemy laner is over here, the enemy laner is going to be faster to rotate in case something goes wrong. So always look for lane prio, which I do have in this case on top and bot. They're not quite, top and mid, they're not quite pushed in yet, so if I go for a play right now, it would be awkward because this would create a freeze. But by the time I get there, it should be fine. And it's more about the fact that enemy laners can't rotate more than the fact that my laners can rotate. Because I know I can kill, I just need them not to fuck me over. So against Talon, Talon is a very slow clear compared to some other champions like Karthus, Graves, Evelyn. These champions have a very fast clear, so you kind of want to hurry up. But as long as you get to this bush at 240, you're almost always going to be good. Like you're almost always going to be there in time. So because I know Talon is quite slow, I didn't expect him to be this slow, but he did save his smite. Actually, no, wait. Oh, he has a different smite timer because of the box. I didn't know that. Okay. But yeah, so he's a bit slower, which is why I decided to put the box in the bush, I think. Oh, I didn't actually, never mind. So yeah, again, keep in mind, we know he doesn't have flash. Otherwise, I would for sure save my Q, put a box down, wait until he walks into the box, and then try to kill him. Because that way, if he tries to flash away, I still have my Q to chase him. But in this case, I know he doesn't have anything. He shouldn't have his wall jump, but he does, I guess. Okay, never mind. So, yeah, I just need to auto-text my E and ignite. He smites the box. I don't think it matters if he smites red or box in this case. But yeah, there we go. Solo kill Canyon. So now we take rep buff, and then after, you always want to look for what the next option is. So in this case, top lane is looking very juicy, very baitable. So that's something I can go for. Mid does have Pry now, could rotate top with me. Not really necessary though, you can just stay mid. Mid lane is not really gankable. I could take his Krugs, but I think going for top lane here is the nicest option. But yeah, as I said, go for the top play here. He actually solo kills, which is nice. After you get ganked as a top laner, and your wave is a bit fucked, if the enemy jungler is still there, you shouldn't TP, because chances are the enemy jungler is stuck around and is still looking for a gank. So you should really try and pay attention to that. In this case, Aurelia doesn't, or maybe she thinks she can 2v1. I placed the box down, didn't get the fear, but it doesn't really matter. I have rep buff, there's no way she can run. Pretty much dead. I don't think you have to flash here, but that's fine. So now, we know Talon is on bot Scuttle Crab. Not because I had vision, but because it's obvious. He cannot be anywhere else. He could be on Krugs, but that would be really bad, because then after Krugs there's nothing to do. He doesn't have any of this up. Yeah, Scuttle Crab should be taken because I'm about to take it. Then he would have to recall and go bot again to sequence his camps. So he has to be bot lane. He's looking for a play. I think I pinged my bot lane away, or pinged my Fiora TTP in case something goes wrong. Meanwhile, I'm just taking my top side here and getting as many resources as I can. So this is awkward. This is where I actually got a bit, not triggered, because, I mean, it's not like it's their fault, but they trade 2 for 2, which is fine. Again, only choice he really has is to go bot lane, because his camps are about to respawn. Meanwhile, I'm still taking my wolves. I'm never sure if I should recall. I think this is still fine. Afterwards, I should look for a recall. In this case, I do see a very juicy top lane gank, though. When you're clearing your camps, always pay attention to lanes that you're closest to. So in this case, bot lane, you can look, but for you to actually influence this bot lane right now, being on wolves is very hard. So you don't... Like, information is key, but in this case, the information that you gather from it is hardly going to be able to make you... You can make a decision based on the wave state of this bot lane right now, if you can plan ahead like 1.5 minutes. I can't, so in most cases, so I just avoid it. So look mid. You could look for a kill. It's really close to the tower. He still has flash. You don't have ignite. You don't have any items. You have like 2,000 gold, or I have 2,000 gold right now, or 1.5k. So not really worth it. In this case, though, this Aurelia is bad. I noticed after she TP'd, she's very bad. She lost to the set, which I don't think she should have. So in my head, I'm like, okay, she's already tilted. She's already down so much. This wave is slow pushing into us. Set kind of fucked it a bit, but still fine. So I'm looking for this Aurelia to like take a, Q a minion or something, take a fight. As you can see, wave comes in. She actually walks up too close. She doesn't have flash, we know that, and then she's just a free kill. So this Aurelia already lost like so many waves. She's really fucked. Zed should never lose now. He has a Bramble. Aurelia has like a longsword. He's gonna get a good back as well. So in a perfect world, there's now no way this set is gonna lose to Aurelia. I think they end up swapping with Fiora. But yeah, this is now over. I have a lot of gold I need to recall. And again, we kind of know where Talon is. He has to be in his bot side, on his way to top side. That's roughly his position, just based on his clear speed. What he's doing right now, which is very smart, is he knows my bot side cams are up because he hasn't seen me leave top side in the last like 3 minutes. So he can take my race. That's very smart. He can take my Krugs. He would also look for a bot dive. They're quite low, depending on how fast he gets there. So in this case, I guess you kind of want to stick around for Krugs and look for a dive or maybe look for Dragon. So now I leave base. I have a huge recall. I know he might be on my race, so I go there. He takes him really fast. I'm really surprised, actually. He leaves one small Wraith up, which I'm not sure if that's smart, because the way things were looking is we were looking at somewhat of a map split. I've been in top side the entire time, and I have a winning top. So it's very likely for me to play around top side, and he has been playing for bot side most of the time. So usually when you have a map split, you don't want to counter jungle with these cams, because you want to end up taking them in 2 minutes again, or 2 minutes 30. So I'm not sure if I agree, but I mean, he is the best jungler in the world. So this actually triggered me. I forgot Talon, I forgot Galio got flash up like the last couple of, I don't know, couple of seconds. I didn't expect him to just flash on me, and I didn't think Talon was, I thought Talon was already in the bush. Or like waiting around here. But, yeah, I was just trying to cover. And then I just got flashed on. That's really awkward. But, yeah, that's the first mistake that I made. Where I'm like, fuck, that was bad. Because now not only does he get my cams, but he also got the kill XP. So now, I think the best play would be to run into his topside jungle. Take this, look for top gank. But I was kind of scared that they would dive bot lane still. Yeah, I think this was a bad move. I should have gone topside. So I take the cams, looking for mid gank here, but Galio was roaming. And again, we're just looking for top. It's kind of free to abuse this guy. Here, this is actually really unlucky. I think Canyon has probably lost all of his hair. He might be bald on stage. He looks for a kill here, he flashes, doesn't quite get it. And I now get his rep buff. I can then after look for a dive top lane. I could have probably dove in before taking rep buff, but I don't know, jungle mentality. Yeah, and then he solo kills. So that was good. I take Herald here. There's not much else for me. Oh, there's not much else for me to do on top side right now. So taking Herald is good. We again now know Talon is going to be bot side. You definitely want to ping your bot lane or your team that Talon is going to be bot side. We know his camps are up. We know he's going to look for a play bot lane. He might take Dragon. Not too many options. So always let your team know the stuff that you do actually know, because they might not. I think I could have probably recalled with the Herald buff and then ran straight to bot lane to counter gank. But I had faith in my bot lane and I didn't think they were actually going to dive. The reason I go bot side here is because, well, I go towards mid lane because this happens, and usually when you when you come out of base and you have nothing else to do, like you have no plan, like no crazy thought out plan, then you can usually just auto path to race. That allows you to do pretty much anything. If you want to go top side, you can go top side. If you want to go bot side, you can go bot side. And if something happens on mid, which often in this elo or in the meta does, because supports roam and then mid laners play, junglers play roam mid lane, then you're always going to be there to kind of do something. So yeah, this happens. Yeah. So now I see Miss Fortune pushing this in. I'm thinking I can get there in time. That she doesn't push this in fast enough. Yeah, and then we just punish her. Not sure why she flashes and heals here. I have my E slow. But, yeah. I give the kill to Ziggs, because again, he's the only AP source in our team. I think it's better to give him some kills, because then it's really bad for them. Not bad for them, it's still good for them to itemize Tabis, but it becomes less efficient. Here, I made the decision to just pop Herald. I could have popped Herald mid. That's usually where we want to place it. In this case, though, I decide we have Ziggs. I can just pop Herald here. We get 2 plates. Oh, you always get 2 plates with Herald. So no matter the damage reduction from the tower. So I think we just pop it here. Ziggs uses W, blows up the tower. We can then transition to top side and get some more plating there. But, or like into mid lane and stuff. So that was the plan here. Enemy Aurelia TPs. I was looking for a kill here. It's kind of risky. So we decided not to do it. I would have liked to take his top side, his bot side camps, but again, we had TP, we had Galio be there, and then Misfortune also came in, so that's really risky. Yeah, I decided to recall here. We see them. I think I move actually to this. I move to this, I pick up a free kill in Aurelia. I was looking to fight this more, but it's really risky. Like, it's really risky, not necessary. At this point, my team wants to keep fighting. I actually have a good clone, on them. So I keep getting the slow because my E is ready to cast. So if you have E ready to cast, your clone will also have the passive slow on his auto attacks. If your E is on cooldown, he will not have the passive slow. Just like you. So we get the slow here. I look for a play. I'm still kind of scared because like auto attack and, you know, maybe Q and ignite from Galio or something could kill me. But yeah, here at this point I just decide to E and ignite, get the kill, and we're chilling. But now, probably take Race and Recall. The reason I go for this build is because I feel like straight up Assassin is not really worth, because the only target I can ever, like, in quotations, guaranteed one-shot is the Misfortune. And me being a bit more tanky and bruiserish helps me not get one-shot, but also still have a lot of damage. We head out of base, go to top side. Bot side there's not too much to make, to cannot do, because the tower's already gone. We want to look for the top tower potentially, look for a kill maybe, and then transition into his top side maybe. Oh, that's why he died. I was wondering, because I don't think Zed should lose that. But yeah. This is good for me, because I get the kill, I get the wave. I can take the tower if I want to. I didn't take the tower plating. I'm bad. Yeah, I should definitely take the tower here, I think. But I was very nervous during this game, you have to imagine. I was playing against the best jungler in the world. We are very far ahead, but it's kind of deceiving, because we don't actually win fights that easily. They have Galio taunt into like Misfortune ult. They have Mordekaiser who can just pick out the strongest target and kind of beat them in a 1v1 for free. Talon is the better version of me, and he's also ahead in XP. Even though he's 1 in 5, he's ahead in XP. Aurelia is always kind of just annoying and strong. I'm not saying we're going to get shit on in a team fight, but we're not going to have an easy time just winning. So I'm just looking for camps here. Me and my white team is just farming mid, keeping them at bay. I'm looking for camps. Always get your camps in between when there's nothing really to do. Should be preparing dragon here. Usually you kind of want to push out the waves, and then at the same time you can look for picks and look for enemies to take out before the team fight starts, or, you know, contesting starts. So here, this is where the game starts becoming like really hard. Talon actually gets to one-shot the, I don't know how, actually gets to one-shot the Fiora here when Dragon's about to spawn. So he kind of did what I just said you should do. Really greedy to go this way for Fiora, from Fiora. Like, she should never do that. Don't have vision anywhere here. They could be, you know, 4 man in this bush, but she decides to go there anyways. I don't know why. She gets one shot, she doesn't react quickly enough, she doesn't block any damage, and boom, 500 shutdown to Canyon. Dragon's about to spawn. The thing is, he used ult. I hide in Fog of War here. They don't actually see me here. I was gambling that it didn't have a Ward and Baron Pit and Dragon Pit. What I was gambling to do here, I knew Talon didn't have ult anymore. He would maybe like jump over the wall, try to do Dragon, and just jump into me. I can one-shot him, and he has nothing to get out of. He doesn't have ult, he doesn't have his E anymore, and he doesn't have flash. So that's why I was kind of waiting in here. The cool thing is he doesn't see me. And if he did have a ward in here, he would have played this differently. He would have like had a Galio walk up a bit and kind of just wait around and kind of trick me into thinking, oh, we don't see you here, haha. That was kind of unfortunate that he sees me here. He walks into the box. I ult after the first auto attack to get the Hail of Blades in. I actually put myself behind in case that, you know, some shenanigans happen and they try to just burst my clone down. But yeah. After Dragon, probably look for a recall. Not much else to do. Enemy jungle's down. My jungle's down as well. We just recall. Okay, so now we buy items. I actually decided to go for Gordon here. I think, as I said, Strikebreaker would have probably been the better choice, but yeah. Yeah, at this point, bot side, there's nothing to do. We just put Zed in the side lane, or even Fiora, preferably, because she should win even harder. So we kind of just look for things to do. At this point, it's all about just catching people, you know, warding, getting vision, being out of position, trying to take camps that are uncontested. Taking objectives like towers that are uncontested, stuff like Herald, taking Scuttle Crab, for example. Or when people, like this Misfortune, for example, if I was already in, I don't know, over here, without me being spotted by this ward, for example, then, oh, that's actually our ward, never mind. If I get into this Misfortune without being spotted, then, you know, look for a kill. So these are the type of things that once the mid game happens, you kind of want to do. You just kind of want to be around mid lane or wherever the action is usually, in case something happens. That's the way I play it. What you can also do is, if your team is losing and you have a very strong side laner that you kind of camped, or even if you're strong yourself and you can help the side laner, then in this case, for example, the Fiora split pushing, ignore the fact that this team is here. If they were, for example, bot side or mid, what you can do is kind of shadow your laner, meaning that you are basically in their shadows, giving them vision, giving them, you know, the comfort of being able to actually do something without having to worry about getting rotated on quite so fast. And in case somebody does rotate, or even if nobody rotates, you have the 1v2. You can then send her split pushing again. You can then rotate back to your team and try to force a 4v4, or just keep them, you know, at bay until somebody rotates. Then you can force a 4v3. There's a couple of options you have. So for example, this is what we mean. Just look for people just mispositioning themselves. This is really greedy. He oversteps for a bit too long. It just used ult for Misfortune. This guy doesn't have Aftershock anymore. This Squishy now set just kind of zones them. And we look for a free pick here. This also looks very cool, by the way. I'll see this again. Q in, and boom, in the air. Fucking backstabbed. Right, nice. So now you have the number advantage. This is where you pressure your lead. Stuff like taking towers, stuff like taking Herald, Baron, Dragon, whatever's up. You know, having somebody split push, again, forcing them to stay mid. I think this actually also works. Pretty nice. Talon kind of griefed the and I think he probably didn't mean to go there. Yeah. Now we have 2 kills. This is too much, I think. I also fucked up. I should have gone for Misfortune. That's my bad. But this is a bit too much, I think. We just should take the tower here. Take Herald and stuff. Now, we played on top side. My camps are really not up there. I'm not sure. Can we see where Dragon spawns? Yeah, 2.5 minutes actually. Team is already on bot side. So that's where play is kind of going on right now. So you might want to just run there and try to help. This is, I think, where the inting starts. We just start inting for no reason. Like, we give our shutdowns away. Yeah, here I look for a kill. Not very happy with my damage, as you can see. See, the thing is, I could have gone for one more auto attack. She would have died, and I probably would have gotten out. But I don't have ult. So if they actually do turn on me, then I die. I give a 500 shutdown away. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do what my team just did, because then it's game over. So, muy bad to die here. Don't do it. I was kind of surprised they're relevant for the jump here. This, again, like, my Fiora kept pinging. And in theory, if we play this perfectly, if we play this right, this works. Do I want to flip it, though? Do we need to take that risk? I guess. I guess we can. So we do go for the play here. I have ult up soon. Ziggs does have TP. It's just... one misplay, I give my shutdown away. One misplay, Fiora dies and they get like the lead and stuff. Here I thought they would maybe turn on me, like right away. So I did the QR. I was hoping that maybe Gali would like flash in right away and they would just turn on my clone. It would give a 3-man explosion and then I just clean up and Fiora cleans up. Didn't quite happen like that, but that's still fine. Fiora plays it well. I played not so well, I guess, but ends up working. We get 2 kills here, I think. And we know that Talon is topside now because he kills Herald. He's nowhere to be seen. So we should be able to shove the bot tower here quite nicely. I can kind of explain to you guys how Mordekaiser ult works. Okay, so he has like a cast time. So he presses the button onto you. There's like a little cast time. If you, during that cast time, Q away, his ult gets cancelled. It gets put on like a 2-second cooldown or something, or maybe 3 or maybe 1. I don't actually know what the timer is, but gets it back quite quickly. Another way you can dodge his ult is with your own ult. So if you see the animation, you just press ult, and he can't ult you anymore. It gets cancelled. Again, gets on a 2-second cooldown. The third way you can cancel his ult is if he ults the clone. Again, it goes on a 2-second cooldown, and it gets cancelled. And then if he ults you, you don't have Q and R anymore. Then you get put into the death realm, and guess what? Your clone is not coming with you. Dragon's about to spawn, so that's kind of what you want to set up. Usually... latest is like 50 seconds before Dragon spawns. You want to be around the area to actually impact it, meaning you want to put down wards. Your Shaco, you want to put down boxes. You know, want to get mid prio, like wave prio. Or not prio, but you want to push in the wave. Wait for the Dragon. Just kind of do it. Team does a bit of inting again. This Fiora actually got me a bit angry because she kept doing the same stupid stuff. This guy steps out of line a bit, out of line a bit too much. Look for a kill. Dodge the Rally here. And boom. These are the type of fix that you want to look for. The problem is we can't really do much about it because, again, Fiora just kind of inted. So next objective is going to be Baron, preferably. Baron also helps us, again, to kind of push. So what I'm going to do is just, you know, take my camps here, leave the blue buff for Ziggs, most likely. My team is already preparing Baron, meaning they put vision around. And now what we want to do is, in case they want to try and contest or deny the vision, we stop them. Again, Amumu gets caught for no reason. It just kind of keeps happening. Killing goes for something that he probably shouldn't go for here. This surprised me. He did so much damage to me. And then Mordekaiser gets a 700 shutdown. This is where I kind of inted. Or 600, I guess. I think my team cleans up here, actually. But still, it's really disturbing how fucked I got. So yeah, again, we talked about this earlier. You kind of want to look for picks. You want to deny the enemy team vision. You want to place your own vision. And if the enemy team tries to deny your vision or tries to place their own vision, you want to punish them if they are out of position. I wouldn't say the Scalio is necessarily out of position. As you can see, team does the intings. But since we're pretty far ahead, the in factor isn't quite as high. I would have liked to just do Baron. We saw Misfortune ult. Now, again, it's just kind of this dance back and forth of just, we want to go for Baron, but we can't quite do that yet because they're still contesting and they do have a shot of doing things. So we kind of need to stop them, but at the same time, we shouldn't die and shouldn't int like this. What keeps happening, Fiora actually lives here, but again, she used Flash, used ult. So is that really worth it to because right now, we're not gaining anything. Like this Flash and this, like, almost dying doesn't give us Baron. If it did, sure, that was for sure worth it, but it doesn't. Now it's this really awkward situation. I go for a bit of a chunk here. I get my clone, but it doesn't quite matter. I was really confused as to what to do, because I wanted to wait for Mordekaiser, but at the same time, if I don't stop them from running into my team, then that's bad. So I was kind of split between, okay, do I go for Aurelia now, and then Galio ult happens, and then it's just really awkward. Do I go in now? But then Mordekaiser Zhonya's this, and good thing I didn't go in, but then Fiora kind of smurfs it. So it's really weird. And as you can see, Dragon's about to spawn, my entire team just died, and their team respawns faster. So we might just lose Dragon. So again, like, this entire fight did absolutely nothing. I'm not sure why we took it, or why Fiora took it. If she didn't take it, it would have been so much easier for us to do anything about the upcoming events, but happens. So now, again, before Dragon spawns, you want to try and get vision. If somebody walks, you know, this way, tries to flank, and you can see that before it happens, then you can punish that person by collapsing on that person, getting a 4v5, then it's really easy for you to take Dragon because they can't really fight a 4v5 team fight. So yeah, vision is important. You also see any other flanks coming in, you see where they are, you see if they're actually going to contest, you see what their plans might be into certain like poke comps or something that can be quite useful. Now we're just kind of at the mercy of the enemy team, like what's their move, what's the plan, because we can't start the Dragon. Okay, so again, as I talked about, they kind of get to move first here, or they get to like pressure us because two of our members are dead. Ziggs does have TP, but even then it's still a 4v5. And our set is also walking topside. So my team kind of just already gave up on the Dragon here, which I think is a bad idea because we kind of win it. And this is something that you as a Shaco OTP need to be really good at. You need to be really, really good at reading the enemies and knowing like what they're going to do. And being able to punish them for being out of position. So what I see this Mordekaiser be here. I see this Talon, I think we see him on the map. And then we see the Galio, I saw it because of the wave, I see him like running down here. But I also see this Misfortune being on her own. And because she walks this way, she walks downwards this entire time, I know she's not going to run this way now. Right, like the safe way. She's going to take the slightly risky way, but it's faster. What I do is, I'm like, okay, I'm chilling. I walk into this bush here, so nobody sees me, and I go straight for Misfortune. Sadly, as you can see, I don't really one-shot her, but I chunk her low enough that she's pretty much dead now. And then I just run. Ziggs ult cleans up the Misfortune, and now we have a 4v5, well, 4v4, and Fiora's on the way. So, from a fight that we shouldn't have won, because I made a really good play now, sounds egoistic, but because I looked for a really good pick, we actually end up being able to turn this around now, which at first looked quite doomed. Now the clone chases, we kind of zone him off. It's really hard for me to actually get in onto them because I just die. I don't have Q at this very moment. But yeah, now we get Dragon here. And then after we group up and we can just kind of run them down. So the Baron, they can't really contest. They try, but nothing they can do. Actually, they try to fight us here. They do end up killing me, but I think my team wins this. Now it's basically just us grouping. Once you have Baron, you always want to have... If you have a side laner like Jax, Fiora, Tryndamere, you want to put them on a side lane. And you want to try and be on the opposite side of the map or just mid lane and push. So now, I'm not looking to kill here. There's something that a lot of Shaco mains don't actually do and don't know you can do. I'm not looking to kill here. I'm just looking to poke him down a bit. I actually ended up ulting because I was kind of scared and it looked like he was going to ult me right away. So I didn't want to die because that would be bad. But now, like, look. I Q into Galio E, stop him. He gets a huge ult. And look, like, there's no way we lose a fight. We're so far ahead. But yeah, that's pretty much the game. I mean, we just kind of run down here. And game's over.